And
Just been buried in it for so long.
that's
Cool.
exactly what we've started with. We've just that second gone live.
Oi! Lovely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's just can you hear that? Is that ASMR?
It is. For
That.
those listening that can't see him, he's actually he's not using his proper mic and that he's using one of them PlayStation earphones. He's in the bathroom.
Can you see us?
Yeah, you might want to zoom in a bit though if you want to show me that.
Wee,
Yeah, look at that,
wee.
mate. 1 minute in.
Hey, I just wanted to check that my fucking webcam was on because, unlike last time when it was just,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just weren't. It's truth seeking. This is
Talking to
it.
myself for
It
an hour.
it's it was amazing watching because part of us knew that something wasn't right because your focus was going all over the place. I thought he's not. I don't think he. I don't know if he can he see us. And yeah, it took
Have you
55
ever
minutes.
tried to look yourself in the eye and tell a joke to yourself?
Yeah. I have, yeah.
Like it's a weird, it's weird.
It's a fucking
It's a
nightmare, isn't
weird
it?
experience, man. That's a strange thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have.
because
It's
you're not
fucking shit.
reacting to it, so you've got nothing to go off.
It's
Because
really
you know
fucking.
what you're about to say.
Yeah, you know what you're about to say, and you're not gonna laugh because you know what you're about to
No,
say, and then what sort of
yeah,
reaction do you expect back from yourself? Like I've had to do it a lot with not just jokes, with just talking as well for doing public speaking and shit, and it's fucking it's not nice. It's quite nice. It's a bit narcissistic as well because
yeah,
it's it, it
a
it's
little.
very me, and I'm the only one. It's also quite a little bit psychopathic because you are having a conversation with yourself, but not like a schizophrenic version or anything like that. Like you're having even weirder. You're having a very sensible, like what you would expect to have that sort of transaction with anyone else, but you're having it with yourself, which is even weirder than having like a mental version.
Yeah, but have you ever tried to trick yourself with a question you don't know the answer to see if you can answer it? When I when I first started doing the taxidermy as a business, I used to give myself an allotted sort of 45 minutes to an hour, which I used to call to sort of like practice being mad, because I thought that was a good idea, innit? Because I knew I
Yeah,
was going
yeah.
to be talking to myself a lot. So if you just and you get it all out of your system, kind of thing. So I'd wake up in the morning and just sort of like talk to myself and that, and argue with myself and try like pacing round and stuff. And then I told someone else about it at the studio. I told Tom about it, one of the other lads that rented it, and he just fucking stared at me like I was mad. And he was like, "This, you know that this like that's not something you can't really practice that in it, because if you practice it, you're gonna get better at it, and you're not gonna know anymore when you're practicing." Which is a really good point, which I hadn't thought of before.
Yeah, man. It's like acting.
Uh,
Like if it's like actors who get lost in the role. Like the ones who get fully invested in what they're doing, and then they sort of they find it hard to break out of that afterwards. Like that exists.
that's what they reckon happened to Jim Carrey, innit, when he
Yeah,
did Andy
Andy
and
Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman, yeah.
Yeah, have you
He
seen the
just he
documentary?
became him for the rest of his life. Yeah, man, it's a fucking sick film.
It's
I proper enjoyed that.
unbelievable. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
really good documentary, but it makes a lot of fucking sense.
yeah.
Like
No, it does.
he did he became him and lot and then
He channeled him.
yeah, and then just
Yeah.
lost it for
Well,
a
did
bit.
he? That it ties into the show. Did he become him?
Well, this is it,
Was it like a
mate.
late stage, a late blooming reincarnation?
What a fucking absolute mate. That was like silk. That is
Innit?
what's known in the industry as a segue, ladies and gentlemen. And Jack Devaney just, whew, he just home run that motherfucker just out the park. I was gonna bring
It
it
didn't
back.
go anywhere though, so it don't really count.
No, man, you're like this is one of the things. I'll be honest with you. My
Right?
yet again done nothing in preparation to this, other than what I've seen in the past, and what my previous knowledge of loose interpretations of reincarnation and sort of um, beliefs around it, and also the past 35 minutes that I've just spent watching YouTube videos, and it started with quite a really good sort of interpretation of reincarnation. So it was a story of sorts, but like, can't remember who it was by. It was called The Egg. I'll see if I can find the fucker now. It's pretty interesting. But this isn't a funny bit, but it's an interesting bit, and it describes the moment some bloke has a car crash. Wakes up, obviously dead, and God's speaking to him, and God's saying like, "You're dead," and he asks how his family is. And he's like, God's like, oh, that's good. Like, first question, you're dead, and the first thing you ask is how your family are. Like, that's really good, etc.
I thought you meant he's asking God, how's your family doing?
Yeah,
oh, Jesus is all right. Mary's become a cunt ever since she get up here.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Right, so that was me shouting at the start of the video, not at you. The story's called The Egg, and it's by a bloke called Andy Weir, Weir. And like the God takes them up to heaven and wherever, and it is basically in between he's in between incarnations, and he's explaining in this sort of part, which it's not purgatory, but like the waiting room, if you will, while you're waiting to get knocked back out on the line. He's asking questions about the whole situation, and God basically breaks down and goes, no, he's going like, you're everyone. He's like, every single person's an incarnation of you. The whole universe is, and that's my creation, perfecting you. Which was a pretty good idea, but in no way really funny. But also it means that you've shagged everyone in your family, and that's really that's horrible. Actually,
also, though, if you could look at it in a way that you've only ever fucked yourself.
I was about to say, all you've ever done throughout your life is continually fuck yourself. For as long as the timeline of this earth has existed, you've just fucked yourself.
Yeah, but that's it's kind of, if you think of it like that, though, it's kind of good in a way, because if you think about it, like you're in bed, it's pretty late, missus is asleep, you think you tap her and that, you might, do you mind if I have a wank? She's like, no, obviously, why would I care? And you just slip one up her. Because
it's you. Yeah, but what this also means is
you're me.
Anyone you've ever been rejected by has been you. You've turned yourself down so many fucking times. You're that shit. You've turned yourself down.
Yeah, but they might all know. They're like, oh, no, I remember when it was you. You were a right fucking mess. I don't want out to do with you.
This brings us to me, one of my points that I had. Well, what I thought was, do you reckon that, what's your theory about sort of accumulating knowledge from incarnations of yourself? So like, you passing down or up information? Because one of the things in that video that I watched, that story, like, he was dying in, say, like, in now 2021, but then God basically said, like, the next version of you is going to be back in China in like the 1400s, so you can go backwards as well. Like,
yeah, that'd be pretty sick though, wouldn't it?
Well, if you had accumulated knowledge, what if like
He's just the only person in ancient China speaking English.
Yeah, you're just living out in fucking like you're living out in just the Iron Ages, and suddenly you know how to code Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's a great idea. This will be worth a lot of money in a few years, guys.
Yeah,
everyone else is there, just like sort of clicking and clapping, occasionally dancing, and you're like, yeah.
I have no idea.
Do you have money yet?
Yeah, I have no idea what numbers are, computers, microchips, microprocessors, electricity, the internet, but I know how Bitcoin works, how to mine and code Bitcoin, and that is going to be, it's a killer. That's got to be the most frustrating feeling ever. But imagine you just imagine the opposite end of the spectrum.
I don't know what you mean.
Like if you get
which bit's the most frustrating? Waking up in like Iron Age China, or not knowing what Bitcoin? You think the most frustrating thing about reincarnation would be knowing what Bitcoin is, but not being able to make it?
Not strictly reincarnation, but if you woke up like as a fucking some bloke in the Dark Ages or something, and like you've got a mud house, You're chucking your shit just in the street. You don't wash. You're living on, gruel a lot of the time, and a bit of pillaging, perhaps some murder here and there, and then suddenly it just pops into your head that there's this $1 million idea before you even know what a dollar is. There's this $1 million idea that could make you rich as fuck. If only you were born 600 years later or something like that. He just sat there going,
carving it into walls.
Maybe that's what loads of these fucking transcriptions are like these artifacts are that people can never find meaning to. It's like, here, that there was how to make a pizza back in like before Christ times. like 800
but everyone
BC.
else is taking it as it's a UFO.
Yeah.
Like this guy with a UFO there.
pizza.
But then the inventor of the frisbee comes along and looks at it and he's like, oh, I remember that day. Patching that in.
Imagine the other end of the spectrum though, and you wake up like tomorrow and realise that you once gassed 6 million Jews. You realise that was your past life. You just wake up.
What if though that's why some babies don't cry?
Oh,
like they're that traumatized by remembering. They can remember what they did in a past life, and now that there's like they've been removed from that, they're just
you say
silent
traumatized
because
maybe they've now know they've gone right. Well, it failed the first time. I'm coming back this time with a fucking purpose. They're not crying because they've got a job to do.
they're plotting.
Yeah,
plotting from as soon as they come out of the womb.
Yeah, I am not failing where this lad did. Watch me go.
Fired out. Somebody get me a chalkboard. Wah, wah.
I tell you what, he's learning to read and write very quickly, but he's only reading sort of banned literature.
Still.
Oh yeah, he's got. Yeah. I mean, he's got Mein Kampf. He's got the Elder Protocols of the Elders of Zion. I mean, he's not looking too great.
He's got this pamphlet about Fords as well. Like, he's obsessed with Model Ts.
And Brazil, he really wants to go on holiday to Brazil or Argentina. He said there's a lot of people there that moved there one day that he wants to go and be a part of.
Have you seen though about these kids that do come and they come around and they're like up until about the age of 8, they're like, oh yeah, I remember my family.
Yeah,
clear as day. They describe and find them. And I've watched a program recently, man. That's why I think I'd like to do Reincarnation, where they took this lad to go and meet his old family, and he's telling them stuff, and they're like, "Rah, nah, this is nonsense." And then they looked it up afterwards, and he was telling the truth. He was on the Surviving Death on Netflix, mate. It's fucking mad.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know how much I believe about them. I don't know how much of that is like, how much of that is programmed by parents.
True. I mean, I read something today which was, I think it was a 3-year-old. Now, I don't know kids, if you know what I mean. I don't know what they can do at what ages. But these 3-year-olds, a few of them,
very good thing to say.
And it can be considering all the past shows. And that last one of mine, to be fair, fucking hell.
Did you see the show description I did for that?
No, I've not seen it. What is it?
I'm not telling you. I'll just leave you to see it in your own time.
I'll wait to see it. Yeah, it's sound. But yeah, a couple of 3-year-olds, at least 2 or 3, and they've got distinct memories of 9/11, mate. And they're describing it and describing the room and who was in the room with them and that. Now, I don't understand, like, what sort of parent is teaching a 3-year-old about 9/11, and the kids are having nightmares about fire and stuff and burning in buildings and the ceiling dropping on them and that. And they pointed at the floor of the building, the World Trade Center, and they point at different floors, going, "That's my office. From there, you can see this building, this, and this." And they're right, they're spot on.
I don't know. I haven't seen that, so I couldn't pick that bit apart. But I don't know.
And I've told you like the gist of it. I mean, the articles themselves, they were not like scientific documents, innit? It's just hearsay. But
that's it, man.
Like, what would you, if I told you that my kid were doing that, would you believe me?
Off the top of my head, no. I'd be like, I want you to show us now. And then I want to be shown in a controlled environment where there's nothing that could prompt that kid besides that kid doing it.
Where I'm not behind you with a big picture, just pointing at the picture
Just
to the
a
kid, like
picture of a
signing
building.
numbers with my hand,
Picture of a building and then
whispering,
a toy plane and just...
yeah, yeah.
Tossing Lego, dropping
Floor
Lego
37.
men, dropping Lego men out the fucking off the bit of paper. Whoa, whoa, that's what happened. Tell him about the passports.
Sneaking
He
into the
found
bedroom like you do at Christmas. Yeah, sneaking into a kid's bedroom, just whisper in their ear, dressed as the Tooth Fairy, just in case.
Bush did 9/11. Bush did 9/11. Yeah, man, I could totally see that. Imagine being like, just remembering shit. I don't know, like accumulated knowledge could work for evil. I suppose it could work for good as well. You could, I don't know what good it could remember. I mean, because I don't know how you in. I'm struggling for. This probably says a lot more about me than reincarnation. That I can find a lot of bad points you could pass on, but not what any sort of good knowledge you wish to pass up to yourself in future. Like,
Oh, no, you definitely want to pass on good information, like fucking stuff to do, like you can put on at the bookies and that, you know.
that's
If
the
you're getting
thing,
like
yeah.
a recent incarnation or a
No.
reasonably recent incarnation.
Yeah, I'm thinking up, not going back.
Or you
I'm
just
thinking
like,
going
yeah,
up.
you know that you're gonna have in a couple of years, well, in your lifetime, there's gonna be someone in your family known as Uncle Jerry. Now, Uncle Jerry's gonna invite you around when you're about, 16 for, a little drink up and that. Don't go.
Don't go.
Just passing on good information, mate, good
Honestly,
intel.
just in fact,
You don't
never
have to
speak to
ruin
him
what
again.
happens. Just, yeah.
And I mean, unless that's your thing. If that's your thing, go. But honestly, it wasn't mine. But I'm on about if you're going passing knowledge from previous. So as in not going back to a past life, you're going forward.
Okay.
So what sort of knowledge would you want to
Yeah,
pass
I don't
if you
know.
were if you were living in, like, I don't know, even if it was the 40s or the 50s, what sort of positive knowledge that we don't have now could you pass up to yourself? Unless you were like, oh, here's where I hid the Nazi gold. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
fucking
Here's the real Mona Lisa.
that's some shit. If you just remembered one day, like, where a missing Fabergé egg was, you're like, oh shit, goddamn. Or
Yeah, I remember that now.
you fucking we need a train. We need a flight and a train across Russia and Siberia. We are off to find this fucking egg. Why does that? I mean, that is one of my arguments for reincarnation not being a thing, because I've never woken up. I mean, I struggle to remember a lot of things most of the time. I mean, I've for 100%, but I've never woken up and remembered something that I've never learned or I never remember learning. Actually, no, that's wrong. I've recalled shit a load of times that I've never remembered learning, but once I've thought about it, I've been like, yeah, I probably did learn that. I just don't remember when I did it. But I've never recalled something and been like, I never ever learned this. So that means, like, I don't think that you get accumulated knowledge from reincarnation, if it does exist, unless it's some sort of innate shit. Do you know, like our sense to... I suppose evolution's sort of a bit like that, though, isn't it? Because evolution could be... That's your...
Yeah, there is supposed to be like a genetic memory, isn't there, where and like skills will go into it.
Yeah,
So like, say if you've got two people have a kid and both of their parents, and well, or say let's say two families of athletes sort of thing have a kid, then that kid's going to be genetically advanced for athleticism, innit? Like
I don't just mean that.
That's like a genetic memory as such.
I mean stuff.
Do you mean
that,
like literal memories?
No, I mean like there's the sort of literal memories, but there's also things that all humans do. It's not just based on parents. Shit like, you know, when you're falling asleep and you have that thing where you're dropping and you wake up.
Yeah, mine used to always be that I stepped on this field near my auntie's house and
But
got my foot in a little hole in the grass
you
and
know what I
twisted my
mean?
ankle.
You know, like everyone
Like
has
instead of
that,
fa and that'd make me fall over.
and
Yeah,
then you
yeah. So
wake
that
up.
might be from the very first.
No, that
That might
what
be the very first person.
that comes
And then
from.
God was like, "Fucking hell,
Nah, man,
you've
that
been
comes
alive
from.
for 6 weeks."
This is fucking legit.
Go on.
This that comes from
Is it?
monkeys. That comes from
Oh, from when
monkeys
they're
and
about to
trees.
fall out a tree.
Yeah, when they're sleeping.
Yeah.
So that's like
Oh,
that.
sick.
That's a trait that's been
That is
passed
a
down
little
to us.
something.
So that there's sort
Mm.
of like that. That's not reincarnation, obviously. It's evolution, but it's a similar sort of thing. In like, but science is reincarnation. Like, there's a scientific way of explaining reincarnation because we all do come back as shit. Once we die, we get broken down, and we get broken down into soil, or we get broken down into like bacteria.
Yeah.
We get broken down into the ground, which then lives, and then creates air. So, like, in that sense, there's a scientific argument for reincarnation, just not in the way that you would talk about reincarnation spiritually or like philosophically.
But I think science is just a way of trying to things away so that people can't actually properly understand what's going on. So say if the universal truth is we are reincarnated, there's nothing you can do about it. You will come back again and again and again. You might come back as once you're a person, they seem to believe you can't really go back to being an animal unless you're going back to being an animal to feed people. So maybe that's why factory farming's become a thing so that they can get more human souls. But if that's, then you've got to wonder who wants the human souls and what do they want all these people to do? Do they want a workforce? Do they want an army? But that's besides the point of what I was going to make. I've fucking lost myself now with
The
the
thing
factory
is,
farming
though,
thing.
everything.
Fucking, oh, Jesus, every time. I just start reading things in my head to you and they don't even link together. Fuck me.
It's entertaining, though, mate. It's really entertaining.
Oh, I bet it is. I bet
Um,
it's entertaining watching me squeeze the back of my head as well, trying to make myself remember.
They're trying to just, like, put
Fuck knows, I don't know.
literally your
Oh, the science thing.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
the science thing.
So I think, yeah, I think science is a way of explaining that away. So you've got that universal truth. Say that is a universal thing that definitely happens. You come back as an alien, a ghostly being, a person, a fish, whatever. It doesn't matter. Even though you won't come back as an animal, supposedly, according to most beliefs. But if they can
but are you
explain that away
approaching
with
this from-
science
are you
so that you don't believe it, and then maybe then that comes into it and plays into it, because then you're not going for that weird idea of a karmic balance where even things that don't relate to you, but dependent on how all these other things go on around you and you react to that, it directly affects what you come back as next. So if they can explain that away with science and say, yeah, you're atoms and you go from, oh God, who says the quote, as a mean or something, Nazir, I can't fucking remember the guy's name, but he basically, like, you go from stars to sand and to human back to the stars kind of thing, that concept.
right.
Like that, instead of having that and it sounds a bit wishy-washy, you can have it with science and give people what seems to be like a good answer, and it clears it away. And people don't want to know them because all scientists are working that out. Scientists know that, so then we can carry on and we can tell people more lies, like, oh, when water becomes steam, it's always the same amount of water that's in the steam, even though it's steam and it's not water and it weighs less, but it's the same. And then people believe that because it's built on on the old foundations of the science before and before and before and before and before, which is really just covering up what was already there.
Well, no, science constantly proves itself wrong. That does happen, like, constantly. Like, the theories get disproved all of the time, but the explanation is like we're all the time that we've been improving, like, we've been developing technology to become more accurate and, like, be better equipped to answer questions that we were answering centuries ago with fucking stones and tablets. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean
Yeah, but what if the
iPads.
reason why they're the questions we were answering back then is because someone pretty clever went, right, if we can get them to focus on these questions here, they'll never understand anything. If we can convince them that gravity exists and that they breathe in air and all this other stuff, if we can convince them of all of that, then they're going to believe in the periodic table. They're going to believe that there's all these other things going on. in reality, it might not be any of that at all. Everything around us could just be. How do we know? Like, we can't categorically prove that a solid thing isn't light. It reflects light. A solid thing can give light out, but everything around us could just be light. Everything around us could just be some form of sound frequency, but our bodies see it in a certain way. We might not even look like what we see as people, mate. But like I might see what looks to me as like these fucking like pink
Oh, that
people
is
things
weird
that look
though.
like, like a
We
cat on its back legs, but everyone else might see everyone like parrots.
That's true. I
But what I
mean,
see as a parrot is a parrot to me, but not to other people. But go on.
well, there's
Nonsense.
a part logical truth to what you're saying. Like, we don't see, like, none of us see colors the same, and none of us see like color as it actually is. So
Especially at Threshold FM, no one here sees colour. Just to get that out there.
we are the most
Good for
Threshold.fm
promotion.
woke 2021 station of the year. We are beating. I tell you what, we're gunning for all the records. We're taking them all down. We're getting that rainbow flag out, and we're standing there with the brothers and sisters. But no.
But it's all grey to us, the rainbow flag. We can't see it. That's how.
It's just cling film. It's cling film. That's what the flag is. Cling film. It's transparent. Because we see straight through it all. We see to the soul. So it's actually just got a still beating human heart behind some cling film. That's our flag. Yeah. Still beating, warm, dripping with blood on anyone that's underneath our flag, but we show that we see through the colour straight to the heart. And that's a message. That is some real hardcore shit.
It is.
But yeah, none of us see what you're wearing now is red, and you're gonna see that as red as well. But like neither of us are seeing what the actual colour of that is, 100%. Like, because our eyes don't interpret it like that. That's fucking strange.
Yeah, but that's just like a regular baghead conversation, though, innit? That like going, the fucking look at this pipe here, it's fucking brown, but we both know it is brown, but it could be what you know as green could be brown to me, but because we've called it that thing and always seen it as that. But I think that's possible with people and dogs and that as well. Like, we describe dogs as like they've got 4 legs and fur, so yeah, we've got an idea of what that is. But what if there's someone there who's like fucking they're calling it that's fur, that's furry, but realistically in their eyes they're seeing like a crocodile skin on their dog. Soft, it feels soft and that to them, innit? Tactile and that, but it looks like a crocodile.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Those
like,
people. Yeah, those people. Yeah, they could be, and honestly, those people should reach out to a medical professional and probably get some help. Maybe spend some time.
They'd never know, though.
Well,
they'd never know. They wouldn't. When they're like, "Oh, look at this furry thing," because everyone's going, "Oh, look at that furry thing there," and they look at a hamster, and it just looks like a little lizard. And and then they might still see this. They might see something different on scaled things. I don't know, like furry fish,
so do they think that
maybe something we can't even imagine as a skin type.
Do they think that you keep what do they think lizards are then? Hamsters? Are they keeping hamsters in vivariums and tanks?
Maybe they see them as like a shiny surface or something like proper, like metal or a nicely polished wood.
And still moving, like fuck.
Yeah. And all the trees, they look at the trees and they look just like that, and they're like, "Oh, that makes sense that the lizards would live in the trees because I've always heard that lizards are well camouflaged, so they would look like tree bark."
Yeah, I still think that those people. I mean, those people usually don't have to seek help because they usually get in some sort of predicament somewhere down the line where it just happens to be called upon them. Usually not by them. Usually by a victim or a bystander. When they're up a tree chasing the lesser spotted British lizard, the British iguana that's just in a tree that he thinks is furry and is actually a massive hamster with branches, and he's shouting, "Don't worry, I'm climbing the hamster to get the lizard," Fucking section team's getting called, mate. You're getting a crisis team out.
Nah, but that's the thing, though. He wouldn't be calling the tree a hamster. He'd still be calling the tree a tree because he's been told that's a tree. But what I see, like I see a tree, right? A tree.
I know what you're saying.
What if there's some weird sort of perception thing going on though for everyone? So even when I try to draw what I see as a tree,
it's like
and show it to you,
colourblindness.
because in my mind I've assigned it as a tree.
Yeah,
you could then look at that and you see a jellyfish.
Yeah, you're basically describing colourblindness, but with everything, with definitions.
Really?
So well, no, think about it. So colourblindness, say you see green as purple, right?
Yeah.
And someone tells you something's green, and you see that as being green, but you're actually seeing purple because you're colourblind. So you're applying that to just definitions of everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're taking it from colour.
Well, why is that not a thing?
To
If
everything.
It can work with colour, why can't it work with everything? Can it work with sound? Are there some people that somehow manage to wear sounds upside down?
There's people that hear sound in colours. I've got a friend who does that.
That's mad.
And
Wasn't there a composer that used to do that?
I've got a friend that I've got a friend who hears in numbers.
That's terrifying. Like in Black Ops, just constantly hearing in your ear 1, 11, 13,
the colours
13,
one's pretty common. Like I get that. I've got quite. That's why I did the Freudian slip, but I get that. I know quite a few. I know a few other people who get that, but the numbers I've never fucking heard before. And then when he told us that, and then he ended up being in an article about it. It's fucking strange.
What? Explain it then. So when he hears numbers, what do you mean? Like instead of hearing sounds, he just sees numbers in his head.
For music, like when in certain musical tones and that are played. I'm sure it is. I'll try and find the fucker.
That'd be fucking well annoying, though, wouldn't it? Everyone's like, "Oh, listen to this, mate. It's a fucking tune," numbers. And all in your head, you're just hearing 2. Is it? You mean like that? I honestly can't get my head around what you mean, innit?
There we go. Here we go.
Go on.
Synthesia. This is the one. The synthesia is a perceptual phenomenon which stimulation of one sensory or cognitive pathway leads to involuntary experiences in a second sensory or cognitive pathway. So, it's the colours one's really common. Have you never had that? Like it's.
I don't even see stuff if I close my eyes. People say like close your eyes and imagine stuff. I can't do that. I don't have that. If I close my eyes, I just see like a black swirl and a red swirl that move around and into each other.
You don't have to close it. Like it's not like. I don't know. It's weird. It's an association rather than seeing. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I'm not looking, and like if I hear a certain thing, and it's not with conversation stuff. It's with music and with like notes and tones. But it's not like you just start seeing that. It's just an association goes on in your head. But that one's quite common. That's not uncommon, like the colour one. But this lad saying he hears it with numbers was like the first time I heard that was fucking like that's really, really weird. But yeah, it's the same. So it's the same principle, but that's far, far, far rarer. It's a fucking strange one. Imagine just
so
like
could you mate then be? Go on.
I was gonna say just imagine being on the radio and just be like 42. Yes. 568.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good noise. I love the noise of 803.
Like what? And where does it stop? Where does it stop? Because numbers don't stop.
Well, yeah, what number? Because that could drive him mental, though, couldn't it? If he gets like a 600-digit number.
Yeah, mate. And
he just hears one sound. You just find out what that noise is and play it outside his house every sort of 4 hours. So he's got to recite that number every 4 hours in his brain while he's trying to do other stuff.
If you give him a 600-digit number, I tell you right now, it's going to take him more than 4 hours to recite it.
Yeah, but you can think faster than you can speak. I can, anyway. I imagine most people can.
Yeah, that's absolutely
I should pop over myself if there's too many vowels in a sentence. So
Yeah, that's true.
There's not that many vowels in numbers, in it.
There is when you've got
Mm.
600 numbers in it. I imagine. I imagine that's quite a few, especially if they're not all if they're all different numbers. So you can't just cut it off as being 600 fucking quadrillion or whatever it is. Like you'd have to
Yeah, it's
break it
got.
down.
Yeah, that's
So
what I mean. It's individual numbers like pi. Just
no,
like
no,
fucking
that would
3.14, whatever that was.
take even longer. Like no, but luckily. I'm never going to do that to him because he's a very nice boy, and I'd absolutely. I mean, I'm not that horrible. Well, I am horrible, but I'm not that horrible to do it to people that I'm sound to. Just absolutely talk to the lad for the rest of his
Just for a
life.
laugh, just out of curiosity. Yeah. How long will this last? They are just playing different, look like dog whistles across the room to him.
So what if you
But what
could?
if he's reincarnated then from the future and then or from a place where, because they say maths is like if we're all a universal being and maths is like this universal language that everyone uses and everyone can use, he could be a reincarnated soul then from a civilization that only uses numbers, and that's a little bit of that
Oh,
seeping through.
where numbers are music, which sounds fucking boring.
Yeah, it does. But
Yeah,
maths class would be pretty fun.
yeah, you all have keyboards.
Yeah, I was thinking triangles, but yeah, keyboards would be a lot more fun.
I don't know how many noises you're getting out of a triangle, but I tell you what, it's probably just one note. You're going to see the same number over and over again, mate.
I just figured it'd be a good way to fucking sort of like teach counting, like because you can ding really fast, can't you, inside of a triangle?
Yeah,
You
but
keep hitting a keyboard, your finger's gonna slow down in it, or unless you use two fingers going at it, like you fucking I don't know, well I don't know, something you tap twice with two fingers, but
a mouse.
fucking with a triangle though, you just sort of go ding 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 ding, yeah, like a mouse.
Yeah, but
But I reckon you could go ding ding ding
if
ding
you're
ding like that on a
associate,
triangle for longer than you could go da 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 on a keyboard.
if you're associating a tone or a note with a number, and the fucking triangle only
No,
plays
yeah, you're
one
gonna want
note,
a wider
you're going
variety.
to be repeating the same
Yeah,
fucking
like
number
the
for
simple class, the simple
over and
Latin
over.
class.
You've basically applied the same rule to what you've just tried to do to my mate with extra long numbers and try to get them to repeat a number over and over again. You may be reincarnated from some sort of like Japanese Unit 731 torture camp leader or something. Just like, right, my torture. I'm not gonna fuse twins together. I'm not gonna do live vivisections without anesthesia. Anesthetic. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
murder.
she can't make it today.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, she's busy. I'm not gonna murder or slowly torture one twin to see if the other twin gets affected. What I'm gonna do is make people who have synesthesia in such a way that they recognize numbers as music and vice versa. I'm just gonna make them have to repeat numbers lots until it drives them fucking mental. That's sick.
I
Honestly,
think
I'd
that's
rather go.
probably a really good way though to try and spend your life though, because that's a hobby and a career all in one. Because you got to go and search these people out. You're like fucking like Ash Ketchum, mate, but for
But
people that hear numbers.
So the Pokemon version of Rain Man.
Yeah, yeah, you're just going round catching people like Rain Man, which is probably. I bet there's people that still do that.
Yeah. I mean,
Fucking
you can't be hard.
professional gamblers.
You can't. It's
Yeah.
got. Yeah. It's not hard to find them. They're usually up trees trying to find lizards. um, could you reckon you can fail up in reincarnation? Like,
Fail up. What do you mean?
well, say
Do bad and then do better the next time.
yeah, well, either that or play to your advantage. So say, I don't know, maybe to choose a common theme from this show. Let's talk about. It's going to be nonces. Ring ding 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 ding.
Who
So-
called that?
Imagine you're a nonce in one life, right? And you get your comeuppance. You get sent to jail. You fucking maybe you even get the death penalty. Hopefully,
Killed
you
in
get sent to
prison.
jail and you just get kicked to fuck for a long time until you rot and die. But imagine if you were then reincarnated as
A child rapist. The
Oh,
kid that goes round
nah,
raping
man.
adults.
Nah, man. What about a puppy? A lovely puppy, and you can just be around kids all the time because kids
After
love
being a
puppies
paedophile.
and puppies love
Oh,
kids.
oh, yeah, yeah. So that, licking
And
the face and that, and everyone's like,
licking
oh,
their
isn't it cute?
face.
But you're not seeing the puppy.
You
What
can.
if that's the thing though? What if
Hang
dogs don't
on,
see the dog through
hang
their
on,
eyes?
hang
Go
on,
on, I'm getting carried away.
hang on. You're not going deep enough here. What's the thing that's essentially preventing men from cutting off from females completely and living a life of just a male society? That is not being able to suck your own dick. And what can dogs do? What do dogs do quite publicly? What I'm suggesting to you
They can
is,
lick their own ass as well
yeah,
and chew their own toes.
what I'm suggesting to you is every dog you've ever seen licking its dick in front of a child is a nonce in a past life, and
Oh,
what you're seeing right there
yeah.
is a blatant crime, and they've essentially failed up in the world. So they've tried to be punished, but with their predication for is that for the tender flesh of a nubile, they've essentially managed to become the Achilles heel in every family. Families can watch out.
I don't know though. I don't know. I think a
Families can
hamster
watch.
coming back as a hamster would be worse
Nah, man, hamsters don't
because
live
they're
for as
always
long.
in the kid's bedroom and the nocturnal.
Yeah, but hamsters, you're in a cage, which is like prison. That's even worse. Most of the time, you're in a cage. You can't even get to the kid. With a dog, all the time, all the time, all the time. Kids, families are looking out. They're looking out for the vans in the street. They're looking out for the weird blokes hanging around the schools. They're looking out for the people walking through the parks late at night. They're not looking out for the fucking little golden lab that's round on the corner, are they? That always comes over in the morning. Little pets, brings the paper. Oh, ain't he a good little boy? He's a fucking lovely little boy. You wanna come in? There's a biscuit. There you go. Go and see little Johnny. And he goes in little Johnny's room, just licks his dick in Johnny's face. What do you think about that?
Watch this, Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. It's a good idea. I mean, it could
What's
be
that dog
possible.
called?
Maybe they
John
do.
Wayne Gacy. Oh, right. That's a weird name for a dog.
Yeah. He loves
No,
these
sorry.
weird wigs. I don't know where he keeps finding them.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a dog that likes dressing as a clown. It's very odd. I've never met a dog like
No
that
interest
before.
in green tennis balls, only red ones. And look at the way he holds it in his mouth there. Look at him. He does look funny, doesn't he?
He does. Oh, now he's licking his dick again.
You come home one day and he's just replastering the wall, covering up a hole downstairs. You know, what the fuck are you doing, dog?
No, he kept them under the floor, but under the house, didn't he,
I
Gacy?
put him behind the wall. Yeah, in the cellar, downstairs, the basement or whatever you call it, in the fucking walls and that as
I
well.
don't even think
Put
he
a
had
couple
a.
of
I
them
don't
behind the
even. He
wall.
didn't even have a basement, mate. It was in you
They're
know,
just in under the floor and in the wall.
you know, like
I'm sure he
Americans.
put them in the walls, you know.
He may have, but I know that a lot of them he kept in. You know, like Americans have that. The houses don't have fucking foundations, pretty much, and like they have like draft space underneath the house, between the house and the floor, and like it's essentially
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's exactly that. It's like a platform of bare nothing where you've just got structural supports. Like he was burying them under that as well.
That'd be an hard place to dig under, though. You just
Very
think he'd
much
just buy
so.
like a fucking wholesale skateboards and rope or something, and just feed the rope through on the skateboard to the other end of the house, tie the body onto the skateboard, pull the rope
Have a pulley
until the body's
system.
about
Yeah,
halfway
man.
under the house or so. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
just cut the rope. No, there we go.
I wouldn't
And
bury
then
them.
people come along and they're like, "Oh, you collecting rope, are you?" You're like, "Yeah, yeah,
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 I'm
just collecting rope, yeah."
just collecting
Look at
rope
it.
and
Gonna
skateboards.
get money for that one day.
Rope and
Yeah.
skateboards, mate. Sound investment. I've heard they're good stock. Good stock. He failed, Gacy. He didn't do all too well. The whole keeping them in the house, bad idea. Never eat where you shit, or never shit where you eat. You know what I mean? Like in his case, like you
Yeah.
don't bring business home, right? You never bring work home with you. He brought work home
No,
with
not
him,
to the door anyway.
and it didn't pay off. It didn't pay off. Like people are realizing that we're locked down, that working from home's a nightmare, and he was working that out a long time ago. I don't know what other points I've got. What other points do I have about reincarnation? Yeah. What do you reckon you've ever met yourself? Could you ever meet yourself? There's a possibility you could meet yourself
I
because you
know that
don't.
there's supposed to be at any one given time. There's supposed to be 7 identical doppelgangers of any living person.
What is it? A
But I
one in
don't
a
know, like that would,
Is it a 1 in a billion
eh?
chance? This right before we're going to come back to this, but
Something
I want
like
to
that.
raise a
I know
point.
it was 1 in 7.
I want to
Go
raise
on.
a point, and that is reincarnation. How does that work on a mathematical spectrum? That we're now at a population, we have more people than we've ever had before, probably combined for the most part. And how can they all be reincarnations?
Well, if we are this sort of prison planet from the ideas from Scientology, and
Oh,
they'd
I've
say they
got.
dumped
Yep.
like dozens of billions of people, hundreds of billions of souls into our volcanoes from wherever, whatever intergalactic federation they committed crimes in, they've dumped them in there, and they were all going into the animals and that, and just going in the air into bugs and stuff. But now you've got, like I said before, factory farming. And what I've been reading about it, you can come back. You're only going to come back as an animal if your intention is to feed someone, or if it's to try and be close to your family again, which kind of ties in your paedophile
With the
idea as well, because a lot of
see,
paedophiles are related to the victims,
yeah,
but they could come back as
yep,
a dog so that they can touch the family again.
uh,
And it actually literally said in the descriptions, touch the family again. But yeah, they could come back as all these chickens, mate, and then once they've been the chicken and they've had that suffering there in the idea of reincarnation, if you suffer, you come back supposedly, hopefully, as something a little bit better. So, but there seems to be like a 20-year turnaround as well from a lot of the stuff I've been reading.
right.
Like it can take up to 20 years for the soul to come back. So maybe that's why they're now trying to get rid of factory farming, because maybe the big they are going to sort of wipe out some of the population again for a bit so they can rebuild roads, new infrastructure, new ideas can come into fruition. And then they'll be like, right, fucking bring back the fried chicken. We need burgers again. Bring in the cows, bring in the chickens. They breed all them again. And then the population starts to sort of rise again because all these chickens are being killed, meaning people can have more kids.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you're following
you've
me, because I
explained.
don't know if I am.
You've explained my answer away with philosophical theory, which is, I mean, that's nothing less than I would expect, because we weren't going to get
Wasn't
much of a
intentional.
laugh. Yeah, we weren't going to get much of a laugh out of it, so we actually got some actual theory out of it, which is, I mean, it's more than I could ask, to be honest. It's more than was expected. But speaking of Scientology, I'll be honest, for the first 5 seconds of what you started talking about, I cut off, because the last thing I watched before I come in here that I meant to bring up right at the start, and I didn't because we got carried away. The last thing I watched, with 5 minutes before starting the show, I decided it was the best time to start a 1 hour 55-minute podcast on YouTube, which was a pro Scientology podcast. It was called the Indie Scientology Podcast, or some words to that effect. And this bloke was obviously Scientologist, and I've never. I watched 7 minutes because that's why I was late, and in that 7 minutes, he gave me precisely 8 seconds of information, and 6 hours plus of absolute waffle of how to pad things out. He's like, oh, this data's super. We've got this data's super. We've got this data from the CIA, yeah, it'll show you how to, they can kill people with just drugs from miles away and shit. Like, they can kill people with lasers and stuff, and they can make you, they've got these things that can just shine in your brain and make you kill yourself. Honestly, we've got data. It sounded like a Trump speech. Like that.
Well, it's just lots of extra erroneous
lots
words
of
just to.
yeah, lots of lots of superlatives without any content whatsoever, and like glossing over the fact that there's no sort of sources to back anything up. He was talking about ulcer agents but without any detail, which they're part of the Scientology hierarchy, authority, business shit. He was talking about reincarnation without any sort of information or source to back it up. At one point, he said something, and then it confused him. Like, he stopped and, like, under his breath went, oh, yeah, but how would that work? And then he got back into character because it's a live podcast. I was like, you expect me to buy into this shit? And I've just watched you on camera dressed as what I can only describe as a cross between Steve Irwin and Nigel Thornberry. Like, he had a fucking khaki fucking Safari Hunters Poachers shirt on. Just a fucking odd character. I mean, he's running a pro Scientology podcast. I'll be honest, the bloke. I'm not going to go, you know what? That bloke seems pretty level-headed and sound. I'm going to give him a lot more time. It couldn't be any more obvious that he's part of a multi-level marketing scam, because he was selling stuff with the pitch of someone who sells fucking Herbalife or Juice Plus with the same language. All the superlatives and nothing scientific or like fact based whatsoever. And I thought, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to watch the rest of this podcast when this one's over. So that's exactly what I'm going to do after this show. But I didn't want to peel myself away because I thought, you've literally told me nothing. And he's going, you need to believe this. You need to buy into this. I'm going, I'd like to, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be buying into. Like, I'm fucking...
I love them sort of people, though. Them sort of podcasts and shows are the best, mate. Because they're funny without them trying to be funny.
They're just air.
But they are informative, though, as well, because you're not for what they're talking about, fucking hell. Most of the time, like, even... I'll be the first to admit, even when I do stuff, man, I know that I don't come across like I know what I'm on about. But
no, the thing
when
is,
the people are doing it and they're like, this is a genuine thing, and you're like, is it? And then it's like, oh, mate, like in fucking, like, if you watch Ancient Aliens, and like, in 5 minutes, we're going to see greys. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, 5 minutes ago, we told you we're going to see greys. In 10 minutes, we're going to mention the word elephant. And then they never mention the word elephant. And then at the end of the show, they go, do you remember when we saw the greys at the first 5 minutes? Here's that interview again for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I like them as well. Them sort of programs, love them. Because they're just... Like, I feel like they'd be so easy to make. Yeah, you only need like 15 minutes of content, and then
you just got to pad it out with repeating what you're gonna do and then what you did, and then not actually discuss. Which is the key thing is not addressing a topic, because addressing a topic means having an opinion, and opinions can be divisive. And if you divide a market, well, then that's half your audience gone. So the best thing to do is not to give anyone anything. That's the key.
You could also go the other way and just divide it away from the minority of your market. So you're just chipping away at it ever so slowly. Like, when you start off with a cube, say your market's a cube, and you're just like, oh, you know what? I don't want the Swedish. No, I don't want the Swedish. Chip that corner.
No, you're right.
Off.
We don't want the
just
Swedish. For people who
I
weren't
found
listening,
out something mad about the Swedish.
Well,
there was
for people before you go into it, for
I think it was 7,000 people going.
Well, before people who didn't listen to the last episode, we are officially now an anti-Swedish podcast. We're the chief, I believe, possibly the only anti-Swedish, firm, hard anti-Swedish podcast. Don't ask us why. You have to listen to the last show because I can't remember. But we are now an anti-Swedish podcast. But if you wish to continue about our hatred enemies, our mortal enemies.
I might even be able to get it up here. It was something about...
Don't do that, not on cam. I don't want to see that.
You do. I want to see if I can get it up on camera. The taxidermy's not going to pay the bills forever. I can't find my notes on it. I have my notes from the other day up still on the computer, but I can't find them. But yeah, in Sweden, there was something to do with like 7,000 people or something were caught with doing bestiality in a certain amount of time. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah,
shit. Was that like a really...
I saw me stuff about Brazilians.
Was it a really sexy flock of sheep?
I don't know what it was. It didn't really say much on it. It was just like a little...
I'm really sorry,
It was one of the weirdest scientific studies that I've read, to be honest. Yeah, because it wasn't written like a scientific study at all.
I'm really sorry, sir. It's just it's a really sexy sheep. If you see the sheep, yeah, it really had the big titties. I don't know where he's gone. The accent's going all over. He had, he had big titties.
He's a travelling Welshman.
Hello, my name is Henrik, and I am from Sweden. I am from Gothenburg in Sweden, and I will have to tell you, my sir, that there was one sexy sheep. The sheep it had a big ass. It had a bundas. It was there may have been lots of sex, but that was the only ones who got caught. It was a sexy flock of sheep. Was that the story?
Nah.
Oh,
Well, it could have been. I honestly don't remember it
I must have
properly.
been reading a different one.
I just remember it was something like 7,000. Yeah, that might have been one of them dirty stories that I'd sent you. I didn't think we were going to bring them up, but it was the pictures were good in them ones.
The video was even better.
Cheap to print out as well.
I'll be honest.
Because mostly, like, the sheep are mostly white, aren't they? So you can just print it out in black and white.
I ended up taking all the lamb out the freezer. I let it defrost, and I
Did you put the little hole in it like the guy said?
No, I just slapped 2 lamb steaks together and made a lamb cock sandwich. And
oh, lovely.
And then I served it for dinner. And you know what? It's goddamn marvellous.
Lovely. Well, do you reckon you'll come back as that lamb next?
I mean, comeback's a fucking key word to use. But I should hope so, because I'll be honest, that lamb both felt and tasted great, and I'd experienced that all over. If I had to live that life in order to deliver that moment to me, if I had to live that life as that sheep, so I could have that moment, fucking those 2 defrosted, cold, still quite cold lamb, like loin chops, which is quite small. I should probably pick a bigger joint of meat. This isn't doing me much justice.
Yeah, not a lot of meat and quite a fair bit of bone on a chop as well, so it's a hazard as well.
Yeah, what can I say? I
like a risk.
I usually have sex with very, very, basically very, very, very skinny. I usually have sex with people who have recently been in labour camps. All bone, no real meat. That's what I like. People who have recently been in a labour camp, people with extremely severe eating disorders, and 100+-year-olds. The bonier and the more withdrawn, the better.
And you can play the little ribs like a little xylophone to your mate across the room who's holding the camcorder.
And
he's like, and that's how you name the videos you make, where you're fucking this lamb meat. You're knocking the ribs of this little old woman. You're like that down her ribs, and your mate's there filming, going, "Oh yeah, that's the one, Jimmy. That's the one. We'll call this number 47, bro."
No, I'm hitting the ribs and going, "Hey, these ribs sound and feel just like this lamb I fucked once. Were you a lamb in a past life?" And she just puts a smile on her face, this 101-year-old woman, and she's like, "I had to come back for you, Jimmy. I had to come back for you. I'm glad you're here."
And you look around the room. You see a little, like, sort of black, like, pumps that she's been wearing, and this proper fleecy coat that she had on the way in.
She's got a fucking.
It all makes sense.
She's got all the episodes of Shaun the Sheep on DVD. She's got
the script to them tattooed down her legs.
She
down her
wrote
little
the
scrawny
fucking
little
script,
legs.
mate. She wrote the script while she was waiting for me. That is how Shaun the Sheep happened. Be honest, I should probably try and cash in on some royalties. That was due to Reincarnation, because I wanted to fuck those lamb chops. So, like, I mean, I'm due some money. That's all I'm going to say.
You would feel like the most powerful man on earth, though, wouldn't you? If you could convince yourself, you'd be more powerful if you could convince someone else of it. But if you could convince yourself,
if you could convince yourself, you're only as powerful.
Some frozen meat, and then because you had sex with that frozen meat, that lamb decided to be reincarnated as a woman 100 years ago, so that she could live to this day to visit your house on the next day after you've had, like, mind-blowing sex with this lamb chop.
Yep.
So that she could come back, and you find all that out as fact, mate. You'd feel like God.
Yep.
You wouldn't need to die and meet him.
If you could convince someone else, that would be great. If you couldn't convince someone else, you'd only be as powerful as as far as you got until the authorities got hold of you. Because yet again, much like man chasing lizard in tree, you're getting sectioned to bits and probably spending the rest of your life on some very hard antipsychotic drugs.
Telling everyone in the cafe and that, just like you never guess what happened to me last night, guys.
Yeah.
Fucking met this old day, had this other old day around my, you know, I like the grannies. And she said that she was the sheep from the leg of lamb that I'd fucked
Do you
the
remember
night
that
before.
time I fucked those lamb chops? Yeah? That's that bird who... Fuck off, man. I'm like, nah, mate, it's serious. You think I chat shit all the time. I swear down. That old bitch right there, yeah, the one that's rolling out on a Zimmer frame right now, yeah, she looks quite gaunt, right? So what about it? The woman's
She looked
fucking...
good as a joint of lamb.
Yeah, that woman has the best ribs you've ever fucking wrapped your knuckles against. I swear to God.
You should have seen the rack on her.
Oh, for God's sake. You did that just on the hour mark, and I think that's probably because of that. It's probably a time. I wanted to ask you about the whole doppelgangers and it being 1 in 7 billion chance of meeting a doppelganger, but
I don't know anything more on it than what I said. It's
good,
just a
because I'll
random
be
fact
honest. Go on.
No, that was it. That's just there's like 7 people that look completely identical to each other in the world at any given time. Say fact. Be a fact. Might be like an urban legend, but still, it's believable.
I feel for the 6 of mine, and all I can hope is that they're more committed than me, and they live in countries where owning guns is either easier or legal, and then they can enact the things that I think, and hopefully they can go on to be the infamy that I seek. And on that note, I think we're going to wrap up. Have you got any parting words with Reincarnation? Yeah, do you know what? We did some topical stuff this week. We did. For bits, we stayed on topic. Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes and no, which isn't a great answer.
Fantastic. That's Truth Seekers, aka Fence Sitters, sitting on the fence. We are the men on the fence. Reinfensation, Chode's Liberal Paradise is on next. Everyone, please have your passports at the ready. You will be checked on entry. Your bags won't be searched, don't worry about that. And once you get in, everyone gets a free balaclava. And that's it. What's this episode sponsored? This episode is sponsored by the Indie Scientologist podcast. And I'm about to go and watch the rest of that while Chode plays us some marvellous, what I can only imagine is going to be a mixture of hardcore, punk, some drum and bass, some hip-hop from both sides of the pond, perhaps a little bit of disco, and we might hear a bit of bassline or grime. And on that note, I've said on that note twice, so on a third time on that note, fuck off.